Back on the mainland, after disembarking from our Newfoundland ferry, the most we knew about our destination for the night was that we needed to head west toward the U.S. border. However, there was one section of the Cabot Trail that we had missed on our way north. The Alexander Graham Bell National Historic Site was in Baddeck, Nova Scotia, on the southeast edge of Cape Breton. While we both associated Bell with the invention of the telephone while in the U.S., we would learn that he and his wife Mabel lived much of their lives here in Baddeck, Nova Scotia, and they were involved in many different areas of research and innovation, although the revenues from his signature invention of the telephone would fund much of his later pursuits. This site was mostly about airplanes. Bell joined forces with 4 experts in various fields to develop the Silver Dart, which would become the first heavier-than-air machine to fly in Canada. The flight would take off from the ice of Baddeck Bay within sight of Bell's home on a cold day in February 1909. A functioning replica hangs in the exhibit hall, created for the 100th anniversary of the first flight. Bell's interests were many, and one of his next efforts was the creation of a hydrofoil, allowing a boat with foils and a twin V8 aircraft engines to achieve a speed of over 70 miles per hour in 1919. Bell's early years were spent working with the deaf, which is how he met his wife Mabel, and how he came to connect Helen Keller with Anne Sullivan and other services, a meeting that Helen said changed her life. His work understanding how the human voice produces sounds became the impetus for his later work in transmitting sounds over the telephone wires. As we moved further west, we eventually decided it might be nice to visit Prince Edward Island. Taking a break in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, we realized we might be able to make the ferry to the island even as it was getting late in the afternoon. We called to see if we could book a spot on the ferry and learned something that we had to try.
You guys have propane on board?
No.
No? Give you these, you're going to go down lane number 7.
7?
Yep.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If we were willing to go standby on the 5 p.m. or later ferry, we could board the ferry for free. This seemed too good to be true, but we wanted to give it a try. We were told to arrive by 4 p.m. for the 5 p.m. ferry to give us the best shot to get on board. So we made our way to Caribou, Nova Scotia to see if this might work. There was a nice terminal building to wait for the ferry with a small gift shop and a helpful attendant who answered some of our questions. We came into North Sydney this morning from Newfoundland, and we've been traveling the Trans-Canada Highway today back through Nova Scotia, and decided to take a side trip up to Prince Edward Island. So we came up to Caribou to the ferry terminal, and if we're lucky, we'll get on the ferry and spend some time in Prince Edward Island. The inbound ferry was arriving right on time, so we needed to get back to the van to be ready to board. Fingers crossed. So we're boarding the ferry, and there's still people getting off, so our standby status apparently got us this seat on the boat. We're told to watch out for these two lips. Yes, more so the next one than this one, because we're gonna go slow over this so we don't bottom out. Good job. So the cars coming in behind us, there's some on this level, but many of them are going down to the lower deck. Ferry schematic shows that the upper deck is for large vehicles and the lower deck for standard-sized cars. We're fourth in line. actually still some space. So we got good advice from our customer service rep that we could make it on board. And it didn't cost anything, which still is amazing to me, but that's great. Above the vehicle decks was the main deck with an enclosed lounge and a cafeteria. Above this level were 2 decks with open-air seating. Our ship, the MV Northumberland, named for the sound we were crossing, began its life in Norway before being employed for the Nova Scotia to PEI crossing. It takes an hour and 15 minutes for the ferry to make the crossing, so there are 2 ferries, and they run an hour and a half every hour and a half. So here's the ferry coming back from PEI headed to Nova Scotia. So as we approached Prince Edward Island, the day was getting late. Where were we going to stay tonight? We had made a phone call before embarking. The Seal Cove campground was a 30-minute drive from the ferry dock and had availability on this Sunday night in late July. We could make a reservation, but the owner had assured us we could be accommodated, which we were. But since leaving Newfoundland the day before, the temperatures had risen. It now felt like summer for the first time in a long time. We saw the pool was open and donned our swimsuits for the first time in over 2 months. Next day, we drove north and then west to see how the island had changed in the last 35 years since we last visited. We had visited here when our children were small and you could only get to the island by ferry. There were miles and miles of potato fields in bloom. Potatoes are a major product of the province.
Follow the road for 5 miles.
Our first stop was the Greenwich Interpretation Center for the Prince Edward Island National Park. This was built in the late 1990s, so it was new to us. With standing exhibits interpreting the local sea life and marine aquaculture, there was also a traveling exhibit about the Mi'kmaq people and their culture. We learned how the famous Prince Edward Island blue mussels are cultivated in the nearby Peters Bay. We would later see the endless floats lining the bay and the boats tending them. We then drove along the north coast to North Rustico. While we were early for our next planned stop, we had to try this popular creamery across the street. But we had seen advertisements all through PEI for the Cow's Creamery, and just up the road in the aptly named Avonlea Center, we tried another ice cream, followed by a stop at the Cow's Creamery outlet. While Kathy was sure she was done buying souvenir t-shirts, there was one she couldn't resist, and her shower shoes had broken the day before, so she had to get some shoes, right? By 4 p.m., we made our way back to the Fisherman's Wharf restaurant in North Rustico. We had fond memories of a lobster supper from our first visit to PEI, but this was the much more commercialized version that seemed to have replaced the church suppers from decades ago. Check the 3 items off our short to-do list for PEI. It was time to head to our stop for the night. We were leaving the island for Moncton in New Brunswick. The biggest change since our last visit was the bridge between Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick, completed in 1997. It is free to come to Prince Edward Island, but costs $20 to head back to New Brunswick. While Moncton is famous for the tidal bore and the magnetic hill, we had a different destination in mind, Magic Mountain and its lazy river. For a couple of nights in Moncton, we were ready to cross back to the U.S. We headed to St. Stephen's to cross the same bridge we had taken on our way north. We would spend the night near Pittsfield, Maine, over 100 miles further west and back in the U.S.
Welcome to the United States.
Where do you guys live?
Florida.
Florida?
Yeah.
What brought you to Canada?
We wanted to tour Newfoundland,
Okay.
and we've been up there the last 6.5 weeks.
So y'all been 6 weeks out there?
Yeah, we crossed over June 1st and worked our way up there.
Any friends or relatives in Canada?
No, not that I can
Not
think
that
of.
I can think of.
All right. Any alcohol, tobacco, firearms coming in?
We have a liter of port.
A what?
Port wine.
Port wine.
Okay. Tobacco, firearms,
No.
fruits, meats, vegetables,
We have
You got
2
the-
bananas.
banana?
2 bananas.
Bananas.
Mhm.
Okay. Any vegetables?
No, well, we have salad bag, sealed salad, that we purchased in the store.
And a bag. It's sealed,
Did y'all purchase it at the store? Y'all made it?
No, at the
No, we
store.
purchased at the store. It's already it's sealed.
Vacuum. Well, I guess not vacuum sealed, but it's
It's
professionally sealed.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm assuming you guys are retired?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we are. Yes.
Any pets in the vehicle?
No.
Is this y'all's vehicle?
Yes.
Yes.
And y'all live in Florida?
Yes.
What part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville?
Oh, okay, nice. It's pretty nice there. I've been there.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Can you shut off the vehicle for me? I gotta inspect it real quick. All right, guys. Have a blessed one.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
You have a good day. Well, he must have sensed that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah. So. What an amazing and unforgettable trip. Newfoundland will rank among our most memorable destinations. We drove over 3,700 miles over 2 months. We took an amazing scenery, from sheer cliffs to sandy beaches. We met so many gracious local people and reunited with some friends of 20 years. While the locals apologized frequently for the weather, we had nothing bad to say about it. Maybe someday we will make our way back again.